All right, for more on this story, let's chat to independent security analyst Azaniah Mnisi. Good evening to you, Azaniah, and thank you so much for your time. So quite interesting when one was listening to the historical context, right, especially when we heard about Sibanyoni's account, for example, of his relationship with the late Jothan Msibi. So let's start with the significance of this history and the picture it paints as far as the present events are concerned.
Good evening, Bogi, and good evening to the viewers. He painted a picture of a victim, obviously based on public records that are out there, that he survived 2 attempts on his life, and also that he is also undergoing a criminal case, and also that he is a witness in one of the important cases with regard to the happenings of this taxi industry. So obviously we see that the taxi industry, there is immense power struggle that the big guys are obviously in control, and that's what we see, that more than anything, the barrel of the gun rules the industry itself.
Especially when we got to hear, him speak about the dark side, especially around Izinkabi, for example, that also continues to spark concerns, especially as far as some of what we've heard and how intertwined all of this is.
For sure, and it gives an opportunity to the Commission to look through in the operations of the taxis, and maybe will then be able to squeeze through recommendations that may bring reforms in the taxi industry, because you can't have it as normal to have a situation where contract killers is an order of the day, and in fact these are people who are ruling the happenings of the industry itself. So it is very scary, but that is what has always been there, that Izinkabi, they are readily available for the highest bidder to do the dirty work, to eliminate opponents, and continue as a business as usual.
And what was your reading into, what he had to say, especially around the, for example, Ket Matlala as well as Katiso Molefe and their proximity, as he described it, to the late Mr. Msibi. And then at the same time, he almost like presents a picture of someone who was on the other side as far as these matters are concerned. But for you, what kind of picture emerges there? Is it one of just mere hostilities, or is it deep-seated rivalry, as he was describing some of the events?
For the first time after General Mkwanazi, someone comes to the commission and cement the issue of saying that the farm of the late Msibi was the epicenter or the mecca or the head office of the cartels. He is very clear also to indicate that there were some criminal activities that were happening there, where people were dealing with drugs. In this regard, Mr. Ket Matlala and Mr. Molefe are operating from there. So it is obviously, we see that is deep-seated rivalry and also business gone wrong between Mr. Sibanyoni and the late Mr. Msibi. So, however, it shows how dangerous it is that when the big bosses are fighting, and then the grass itself or the industry itself becomes killing fields.
And it's interesting you speak about the farm, because I was going to go there to say that how does the commission now begin to even get more detail around, this particular place, because it's becoming, fast becoming a place of interest. But while you answer that, let's also speak about some of the questions you believe, he may need to answer, which have been raised previously as far as his testimony is concerned, because we know he's back in September to, for further cross-examination as it begins. And there could be, of course, a lot of issues that still need to be clarified.
Very much sure. He had a good day in office in terms of his presentation today. We are waiting to see on the 21st of September when he appears for cross-examination with the commission. He was forthright in his presentation. We believe and hope that he will not be able to, he will not abuse the invoking of the right not to self-incriminate. But obviously there are questions, hard questions that he will have to answer, which some were raised a little bit today, but they will then need attention on the 21st. Amongst other things, the issues of what we just spoke about, the issue of Izikabi in the industry itself, or the issues of controls and everything. So the way his statement itself was painting the answers that he's gonna lean towards when he's being cross-examined. So it will be good to see the deep-seated kind of extraction of the truth, but by and large, his presentation today painted him as a victim, painted him as a man that is being haunted, the man that the industry itself seeks to eliminate and take him out of business, like what he said, that he has been out of business at some stage.
Yeah, and briefly as I let you go, then when it comes to the issue of money flows, right, it's one that is, quite central given what we've been hearing, in the commission thus far. And when he speaks about, in parts of his evidence, the issue of stockpiles, and he says there's nothing untoward here, was that a preemptive strike as far as possible money flow questions are concerned?
For sure. In that industry, obviously, there is no contemporary accounting that we are used to in terms of money flows. So he will have to answer that. You remember that there was also an issue of the gift of the vehicle, the Toyota GD6, that briefly he had to also answer. So we are going to hear a lot in terms of that money flow, and I don't think that it will be a walk in the park. The commissioners are ready for that.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Azaniah Mnisi, the security analyst, speaking to us about the developments in the Madlanga Commission.